Even though you're my son's wife, you're just a stranger. If you can't get pregnant, then get lost. My mother-in-law Janice said that and tried to get rid of me. I didn't care about anything anymore. Thank you for everything you have done for me. I haven't done anything since you're just a nuisance. Disgusted by Janice, who was being terrible until the end, I packed up my belongings. But as I was about to leave, I heard a voice behind me.
That's enough. Don't you think it's embarrassing of you to abuse her like that?
My name is Mara. I'm a 32-year-old office worker. My husband Keith and I have been married for 3 years. We met through work. He was my boss, and I admired him very much.
Mara, your proposal is very well organized. Keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Every time he complimented me, I felt very happy, and it made me want to work even harder. And then I started working hard, and because of that, I was allowed to work on a project with him. That project brought my husband and I much closer together. Then we became friends at the office party, and he started asking me out on dates. After a few more dates, he confessed his feelings for me, and we decided to go out. We were 5 years apart in age, but we were on the same wavelength, and I felt very comfortable with him. So I always wanted to marry him. We had been dating steadily, and about a year and a half into our relationship, he proposed to me.
I don't think our age difference matters. That's how much I love you, Mara. You're the only one for me. So, please, marry me.
I also think you're the man of my dreams. I want to marry you as well, Keith. I don't care about our age difference.
Thank you, Mara.
He gave me a ring, and we got married. I was so happy that I was going to marry him. Then we greeted each other's parents, had a meeting with both our families, and had a successful wedding ceremony. Since we were romantically married at the same workplace, many people from our company came to celebrate our marriage. But since we had originally kept it a secret, many people were surprised to hear that we were getting married. Some even said they still thought that it was all a prank. And after a memorable wedding, my husband and I started our new married life. After we got married, we continued to work for the same company. But my husband was transferred to a different department as the department head. As expected, it was not possible for a married couple like us to be in the same department. Of course, work is work, and I am doing my best to get results. I want the company to expect more from me, just as my husband does. And therefore, when I come home from work, I often talk about work with my husband during dinner. But I don't mind that at all. In fact, I am happy to hear valuable opinions from someone who used to be my direct boss. My husband also says that by listening to me and sharing his views and opinions, he is able to reorganize his mind and make use of them in his current department. And of course, on our days off, we spend our time relaxing and forgetting about work. Since we both work hard at each other's jobs during the week, we do our chores together on Sundays. When we do them together, the chores are finished in no time. And since we're able to talk with each other while doing it, it's really fun. We were happily married, just like that. But now, 3 years into our marriage, things are changing a bit. My father-in-law, Andy, hurt his legs and needs nursing care. This meant that Janice had to take on the burden of nursing care and housework all at once, so she contacted my husband to ask if we could move in with her.
My mom insisted that idea.
Does that mean I have to do either housework or nursing care?
She'll mainly do Dad's nursing care, and I will help her.
So you mean housework then? I can't stay home during the weekday because I'm out working. You're not asking me to quit, are you?
Of course not. I checked with my mom. She said she doesn't care if we're working. She's just happy that we can live with her.
I see. Well, it must be tough to take care of the house and take care of Andy all by herself.
Yeah, that's why I want to help her. Of course, if you don't want that, we don't have to do it, you know?
I was really troubled when Keith said that. But it's not like I was bullied by Janice before or anything like that, so I thought it was okay. Yes, it's fine. Let's move in together.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, as long as I can support Andy and Janice as much as possible while working.
That's good enough. Thank you so much.
My husband was very happy to hear that. I guess he was happy to be able to help his own parents in their time of need. My husband immediately contacted his mother. It seems that Janice was very happy to hear that we agreed to live together. I was glad if Janice was happy like that. My husband and I had been living in a rented apartment, but we filed for termination and moved into my parents-in-law's house.
Hi, Mom. I look forward to living with you here from today.
Keith, I'm so glad you're here. I really appreciate it.
This is how our life together started. At first, there were no problems. Janice basically devoted herself only to nursing care, and my husband and I took care of the housework. I think we all cooperated with each other and were able to live well together as a family. However, gradually, Janice began to reveal her true nature.
Hey, Mara, you work every single day, but why don't you think more about your position as a wife?
Huh?
You should be ashamed of yourself, even making Keith do the housework.
Well, my husband allowed me to continue working before we moved in together. I'm told that's what he also told you, Janice.
So what? Of course, I'd only accept that. But actually, I really think it's absolutely necessary for the wife to quit her job and devote herself to her family. Normally, you should take into account about my wishes and become a housewife yourself, right?
Excuse me? I was surprised to hear such a thing from Janice all of a sudden.
You should quit your job and concentrate on housework.
Janice glared at me as she said so. From then on, I began to not like Janice. I guess I had let my guard down because she had been kind to me when I greeted her at the time of our marriage and at our wedding. I guess this is the true nature of Janice. After that, she began to bully me without letting my husband or Andy know about it.
The meal you made today tasted so bad. Are you feeding those kind of meals to Keith like that? I feel sorry for Keith.
That's how Janice would call me out, saying that what I cook is bad. In addition to those insults, Janice has also been questioning me quite a bit about me being pregnant or having kids.
Since you've been married for 3 years, wouldn't it be normal for you to get pregnant with a child or two? When I was your age, I already had Keith. You can't cook, you can't do housework, you can't have kids. You're a total mess. what the hell is the point of Keith marrying you?
Janice makes fun of me like that. I try not to listen to her as much as possible, but sometimes, when I am stressed out, I respond to her terrible criticisms. I still didn't talk to my husband about it until the last minute. My husband was very busy at work at the time and worked overtime every day. He probably wants to concentrate on his work now. I was so concerned about my husband that I couldn't say anything about this. However, after that, Janice's bullying gradually became worse.
Mara, there are some ingredients I want you to buy on your way home from work.
I understand. I had no choice but to go shopping after being told so over the phone. But when I came home, dinner was already ready, and my in-laws and husband were having dinner together.
Oh? Mara, you are late.
Well, I guess we did have enough ingredients.
Oh, you are so thoughtful to look into the fridge. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Janice was so determined to get the ingredients from me. I guess she didn't really need to buy the food, but wanted to eat dinner without me. Janice tried to exclude me in this way many times. When I tried to order delivery, she tried to order a menu item that I was allergic to. And when I was out running errands, she suggested that we eat out as a family. And of course, she still complains about my housework and insists on asking me if her grandchildren are here yet. I decided to think that she's a helpless person. Once I decided to think of her like that, strangely enough, Janice's bullying didn't bother me anymore. And I was able to talk to my husband about it in an open and honest manner. When I told him about the treatment I had received from Janice, he turned pale.
Was she doing such terrible things to you? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Why didn't you talk to me about it instead of keeping it to yourself?
I am sorry. I didn't want to cause you unnecessary worry. But I've been doing okay lately, so don't worry about it.
Really? I'll strictly warn my mother about this.
No, she'll be even worse with me if you do that. I don't care about anything anymore, so don't worry.
Is that so? Well, that's good, but...
I said that to my husband because I really thought so. But then, Janice took an unexpected action. Huh? It seems like some of my bags and clothes are missing. When I opened my closet, there were fewer bags and clothes than there should have been. Moreover, only my favorites were missing. Did I move them somewhere else? No, I would never do that. Where in the world did they go? As I stood in front of the closet, Janice spoke to me from behind.
What are you doing?
Oh, Janice.
What? Are you thinking that you're missing some bags and clothes?
Huh? Oh, yes. Obviously, they're missing. Did you do something to them, by any chance?
No! How dare you suspect me like that? How much do you hate me?
You're the one who always picks on me, though, right? Andy and Keith would never do that.
How terrible. How can you treat me like I'm the only one who's bad?
So, it wasn't your fault then, Janice?
I did it.
What? So she did it?
I sold the brand name things you had.
What? You sold them? Why would you do such a terrible thing?
Because you were using Keith's money to buy all those branded items, weren't you? You're spending too much money. As a punishment, I had to sell all of them. And the money from them will go to the living expenses of this house.
Unbelievable. Why would you do such a terrible thing?
It's because you're useless as a wife. Don't you think so? You never get pregnant.
But these things happen naturally.
Then get out of my house. There's no point in staying here if you're not family, and you can't even have kids.
I'm married to Keith, so I'm part of the family.
Even though you're my son's wife, you're just a stranger. If you can't get pregnant, then get lost.
That's what Janice would say, and tried to get rid of me.
I don't need you either.
I see. Then I'll leave. I didn't care about anything anymore. It seems that no matter how I try to understand Janice, we can't seem to get along. Thank you for everything up until now.
I didn't do anything. You were just being a nuisance.
I packed up my belongings, disgusted by Janice's bullying to the end. But as I was about to leave, I heard a voice behind me.
That's enough. Don't you feel embarrassed doing that to her?
Oh, honey, weren't you sleeping?
To my surprise, it was Andy who spoke up.
I pretended to be asleep and stayed awake the whole time. Keith told me to keep an eye on you.
Keep an eye on me?
He told me that you were being terrible to Mara. It's true that I somehow felt that from time to time, but Mara didn't say anything about it, and Keith never asked me for advice. I thought it was just my imagination and was living a normal life. But then Keith asked me about it, secretly. Then I found out that you had said a lot of terrible things to Mara. I'm sure the argument you just had with her would be enough to gather enough evidence.
Oh no! Why would you say such a thing?
Because you're picking on my wonderful daughter-in-law. I recorded what you said just now as well.
What? You're kidding.
This audio, of course, will be played to Keith. I don't know what Keith will do when he gets angry, so you better be careful.
Oh no!
Janice then tried to rush out of the house, but I stood in her way.
Get out of my way!
I don't want to. I texted my husband about this, and he said he would leave early and come home right away. And a few minutes later, my husband came home.
You were doing something terrible to Mara, Mom? I can't take it anymore. Me and Mara are leaving this house for good.
Excuse me? When you two are gone, I'll have to handle both caregiving and housework all by myself.
When Janice said this, Andy responded.
We're getting a divorce. So why don't you just go and live out freely on your own?
Divorce? Live out freely? That's impossible.
I'm kicking you out anyway.
What?
I'm saying that I'm divorcing anyone who would hurt my son's precious partner and bullying my own son's wife. The divorce will be processed immediately, and you are to leave right away.
Janice froze there motionless when Andy said that to her. With no one on her side, Janice did not try to argue anything back. And indeed, Andy and Janice got a divorce. When I asked him if he was happy with how it all turned out after being with her for so many years, he said that he was already disgusted by how Janice was acting, as well as her behavior. He said he couldn't see me putting up with a person like her. I was grateful that Andy helped me like that, even though I had asked my husband for advice. Thanks to Janice and Andy getting a divorce, my days have become more peaceful. I can concentrate on my work, and thanks to the helpers we call during the day to take care of Andy, my husband and I have less work to do. Andy and I are as close as ever, and the three of us live happily together. By the way, Janice has tried to get back together with Andy many times since then, but he has ignored her without taking any action. My husband also takes my side and ignores Janice. Also, I had made Janice give back all the money she received for selling my branded items. Janice often hangs around the house and is treated as a suspicious person, and in the end, she got reported to the police. And the rumor has spread among the neighbors, and she is now living a life of shame. Well, she got what she deserves. I will continue to work hard as I always have, and I will continue to take good care of my husband and Andy, and we will live happily together as a family. Thanks for watching until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to our channel. See you in our next video.